Good morning, it's Friday, November 3rd, 2017. I'm James Tetreault with your Southwest Ag Grain Market Update. Bit of an overview of what we're going to touch on today is the three things we've been keeping an eye on this week in the grain markets: the Canadian US dollar, as well as the corn harvest report. The first thing we were watching in this week was the midweek rallies in the soy market. That was thanks to in part from some Chinese buying on the US demand side of things. But today we see those buyers exiting the market. Another thing hampering our yield or our gains in the market are the strong yields reported out of the US. We seem to be capping out every time at that $10 range for soybeans and that $3.50 range for corn. We need some more bulls in this market to surpass those values. The second thing we've been keeping an eye on is the weather. Winter weather is moving into Minnesota, Wisconsin, and parts of the North Dakota. Rain is the theme as you move further south. We have severe thunderstorms forecasted for this weekend, which should continue our harvest delays in corn. Now, the third thing we were watching was the corn market outlook. Our bull today on the corn side of things is harvest progress is slow. Growers are also starting to store as much corn as possible, meaning we need those end users to increase the basis, or some Chicago rallies to get growers at values that they like to open up those bins later on in the year. Now, our bear trends on corn monthly, weekly, and daily all remain sideways to lower. One thing to note is our December futures. Today, our December 17 futures is sitting at a $3.50. If we go out to December 18, we got a 45-cent spread to $3.95. And we go out even further to December 19, we have another spread of 17 cents sitting at $4.12. Those are some pretty decent values as you get out to those future months. And a lot of growers are starting to touch on some values that seem to be profitable to them and are good values to start at as you move towards 18 and 19 crops. Now, going to the dollar, US dollar was lower throughout the week, which helped with our midweek gains in the soybean market, which also helped the corn and wheat rally as well. But this morning we're seeing that bounce back, and we're losing some of our gains that we made throughout the week. Another note, the Canadian dollar is up slightly this morning at 78.55, and we could maybe see our basis drop a bit, but I'm not too worried about the slight increase in the Canadian dollar this morning. Moving on to the harvest report, October 29th, the U.S. had the corn harvest report pegged at 54% versus the 5-year average of 72%. Now, locally, discussing with growers of where our corn market's at, we're some version of 30 to 40% corn harvest completed, higher variable yields. Moisture seems to be coming in at our local elevators at about mid to low 20s. And one good thing to note about this corn harvest this year is any new crop corn coming into the end users or our local branches have been low VOM, with some pockets having some higher VOM. The soybeans, we're seeing some version of 90% complete. Lower to variable yields in the soy market this year. We missed out on a lot of July and August rains. That seemed to be, the only thing hampering the soybean yields. There was parts in Ontario that had a big increase in yields, but overall I think we're some version of a lower to variable yields throughout the Ontario marketplace. This has been your Southwest Ag Grain Market Update. I'm James Tetreault. Have a safe and happy harvest.